Hello, everyone. I'm Doug Flegel, and I'm the chair of the Program and Personnel Committee. And it is 5:30 here on August 11th, 2025. I'm going to call the meeting to order. If you will stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to review the agenda. We are going to take the opportunity for public comment. And then our discussion items, we have board policies, a second reading, employment of employees, a memorandum of agreement for job category and positions, a drafting of an Ed Tour, Culture and College Ed Tour proposal, Ed Tour, Libertyville High School Girls Flag Football Team overnight trip, an update to board meeting public participation guidelines, and then future agenda items. So let's go back and begin with an invitation for public comment with a 3-minute time limit. Carol, do we have anyone wishing to offer public comment? Okay, we will move forward into our discussion items. And the first item is board policies, a second reading. Updated board policies is recommended by PRESS, the Policy Reference Education Subscription Service, from our regular reviews and updated in accordance with Illinois Public Acts. Brian, is there anything you wish to add to any of these policies?
Well, they're presented as on the agenda.
Anyone have any questions, comments regarding any of the policies in their second reading? If not, we will move into the next item on the agenda, and that is employment of employees. Again, Brian, is there?
Just presenting the positions, positions that have been filled since our last meeting, and then they'll go to the consent agenda at the regular board meeting.
Okay. The next item is memorandum of agreement for ESP job category and positions. Brian?
Yeah, so we're entering year 2 of the 3-year collective bargaining agreement with our educational support professionals. And when we put job categories and job positions together for this, we knew that there would be possible changes in some of the job positions and then additions, but also looking at the way they were categorized and comparing workload that we would like to, our recommendation is to move ahead with this MOA that encompasses some of the changes that we have made in this past year. And we've been working collaboratively with our ESP union on this, and like to take this to the board at the August board meeting.
Thank you, Brian. Any committee members have any comments or discussion regarding this memorandum of agreement?
I'm sorry. I thought when I looked at the packet originally that it had a description of the additional job positions, but now I'm looking, it's just the MOA.
There wasn't a description of the jobs, but there's the jobs that are listed in there. So your assessment accommodations, administrative assistant, power school specialist, and then the accounts payable change in job categories.
Understood. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we will continue on through the agenda, and the next item listed, and I believe I covered this when we reviewed the agenda items. If not, I apologize. It's the administrator contract amendment. The teacher union collective bargaining agreement contains a few benefit changes, and some of the benefits afforded to teachers are also extended to administrators. Bryant, would you like to elaborate on this item?
Sure. So since we completed the teacher union contract, there were a couple of benefits that we would also like to make amendments to our 10 and 12-month administrators in regards to sick days, bereavement leave language, the parental leave, and then for those administrators that currently aren't in a retirement contract, that if they do declare for retirement, would be eligible for the retirement benefits for sick days. And then for our tier 2 TRS administrators, of which there are 4 in out of about 50 administrators, to extend the tax shelter annuity match from $1,600 to $1,700. And some of our benefits that we do afford our 10-month administrators, actually, their contracts state that they get the health benefits, so health insurance that the teachers get. So if those change with the teacher's contract, they just automatically change. Some of these are spelled out in their contract, and so we would like to change some of this language to reflect what the teacher's contract has.
And Brian, this is past practice. We have done this in the past when we have entered into a new collective bargaining agreement with the teachers.
Correct. We have done this in the past.
We have done this in the past. How many employees does this affect?
There's about 50 administrators, 10 and 12-month administrators.
So that's both in the buildings and at the district office?
Correct, yes.
And what's the financial impact to the district?
So if I break it down in the different pieces, so let's start with the tier 2 going from 1,600 to 1,700. It affects 4 people. So a lot of administrators were hired before 2010. So we're tier 1, so we can't access this change. So there's 4 of them. So the difference would be $400 more to the district for the match. Again, granted, the employee still has to put that money in. So potential of $400. When you look at the sick days, if we give them a 10 additional sick days, it's hard to quantify for, I'll say, sick days, bereavement leave, and the parental leave. It's hard to quantify what the exact cost will be to the district, because somebody still has to, so we can give somebody sick days. If they never use it, it's just, sick days are sitting there. Our 12-month administrators, if they take a sick day, there is no cost to the district because we don't get substitutes for them. So really the cost would be possible additional substitutes for like 2 periods a day for your 10-month administrators or your department chairs.
So it sounds like the overall cost to extending these benefits to the 10 and 12-month administrators is minimal.
Very minimal, yes.
So I'm assuming then these were not budgeted expenses because they have such a limited impact on our overall budget.
Funny, the tier 2 1,700 is because when I apply that benefit in the budget calculations, it applied to all the tier 2 people. So I did budget the 1,700 for all of them. They were lumped in with all the other tier 2s just because that's how the system
Okay,
budgeted out.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Anyone else have any questions? And again, this affects about 50 administrators. Okay. Thank you. We will move to the next agenda item, and that is the Daring Ed Tour Culture and College Ed Tour proposal. And Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Varn, you're here to speak to this agenda item?
Yes.
Okay, welcome.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ben Rodriguez. I'm the Director of College and Career Readiness.
And I'm Larry Vaughn, the Director of Equity and Inclusion. Good evening.
We'll be sharing a quick update on Daring Ed Tours. For context, in fall of 2024, the board asked administration to look at Ed Tours to explore ways to make them more accessible, affordable, and available to students. And so this past June of 2025, after meeting with a committee with staff members from across the district, that committee developed different recommendations to support that goal. One recommendation was to develop a yearly district ed tour called the Daring Ed Tour to achieve that objective. So we'll be sharing a quick update on that, as well as sharing a proposal for a pilot ed tour to understand and learn about this potential aspect of our system. So quickly, Daring Ed Tours will be attended to be district-wide yearly travel experiences that advance the Daring mission by connecting students to opportunities in career exploration, service learning, leadership, cross-cultural connections, and other areas of the Daring mission. And because the goal is access, we're thinking about ways to ensure that students have opportunities to engage in these trips, whether it's through payment flexibility, scholarship development, advance notice when possible, and work-based learning opportunities. Work-based learning is connecting kids to paid internships, local jobs, those kind of opportunities to help students offset those costs. And so our next steps include assembling a committee of staff from across the district to develop a systematic approach to these trips to ensure that we have access across our system. I'm now going to pass it to Larry Varn, who will share more information about a pilot trip we are proposing.
In your packets, you have the proposal for the D128 Daring Culture and College Tour. The D128 Daring Culture and College Tour offers students an opportunity to engage in firsthand exploration of a spectrum of universities. It includes American cultural landmarks as well as historical sites. This supports our Daring mission by expanding students' awareness of post-secondary options and broadens their global perspective. This immersive experience is designed to complement classroom learning with real-world exposure that can inspire and inform students' future educational opportunities. Students will participate in this District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia area tour from October 9th through the 13th without missing any instructional time. This is largely because of the calendar committee's commitment to intentionally build a fall opportunity for students to explore post-secondary options. This tour, being a part of our Ed Tours, allows families who may not have made plans for campus tours during that time to experience these campuses that we will be exploring, as well as some of the cultural experiences. The tour is structured to be inclusive and accessible to all students. Every D128 student is welcome to apply for this trip. The Culture and College Tour is not simply a trip. It builds confidence and fosters a deeper sense of belonging and aspiration among its participants. Students will return from the experience better informed, more motivated, and more connected to the resources available to them for achieving their goals. This tour is carefully designed to be a transformative learning experience that affirms our commitment to providing all students, regardless of background, with opportunities to explore, discover, and envision their future. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks. Does any of the committee have any questions regarding this update from Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Warren?
So I wasn't able to open the itinerary or budget sheet. I didn't have access through Google. But I'm wondering, the $3,400 that is a district cost, was that a budgeted expense? Where is that coming from?
It's a budgeted expense, and it aligns to our Daring 128, our Daring 128 tours with how we were going to fund that. So it is included in our teacher development professional learning budgets.
Thank you. Anyone else?
These, this is a proposed tour, and I think I read somewhere that you have a minimum threshold of the number of students in order to actually do this. Can you refresh my memory what that is? How many?
The maximum number of students for the trip is 48. We would need a minimum of 40 students to run the trip.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a question about the cost. Where it says so it's $390 per student, and then it's $3,400 for the district. Now that's to cover the chaperones. So the trip is going to cost around, if you take the 390 times 48, it's roughly almost $19,000. Is that correct?
That is
Am I
correct.
doing okay? Because I wasn't clear when I was initially reading through the proposal, the way it was worded, I read it as the district was covering $3,400 per student.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then how will this be communicated to our families?
We will be reaching out to all families and making them aware of the trips. We will also be working with our college and career centers to make sure that it is publicized through those avenues. Emails will go out to all of our families, and we'll be working with our counseling department to make sure that students are aware of the opportunity.
Okay. And then is there been any thought to how, if the families want to go, but they need a little bit more time to come up with the money? Because I know in June, when you gave the presentation, I really liked how there was an emphasis on making sure that the families knew well in advance so that they would have time to save. So this is a tight turnaround. I understand why there is the tight turnaround because we want to get this going. So I was just wondering if there had been any thought to that.
Yes. In order to make the trip more accessible for families, we've identified a payment timeline where families can make the $390 total fee in 3 installments that range between the initial installment being $100 and then 2 subsequent installments being $145. And we've spaced them out in ways that we believe will allow families to at least have a paycheck between those dates.
And I agree that part of the overall vision for the work is to ensure that these trips are spaced out appropriately yearly for families to see out for the next several years what experiences they can be saving up their funds for if they desire to go on these kind of experiences.
All right. Thank you.
But the communication for this trip is going out when?
Tomorrow, right?
We're prepared to start moving this communication out this week, but we also understand that we have a process of board approval. So if we wait for full board approval at our board meeting, it would go out the next day.
So refresh my memory on the new Ed Tour procedures. This would fall into the category of one that the board does need to approve.
Yes, this would be what we would call a Category 1 tour because it is a more than 200 miles and it is not connected to an official IHSA competitive event or cycle.
Right.
So this would be something that that's why we're bringing it to you as a board to review. We also, the reason we added the presentation piece to this is because we wanted to center this as one of the emerging District 128 Daring Ed Tours. This is something that we anticipate, as Ben and Larry said, we may have 2 or 3 of these offered during the year to various opportunities for students. Some might be focused on college and culture. Others might be focused very much on careers. Others might be more adventure-based or enrichment-based. This was the first one that we were bringing forward, which is why we wanted to center kind of the discussion around the board's awareness of this being something that isn't being sponsored by a club or not being sponsored by a specific curricular program like our world language trips. This is being sponsored sort of by the schools and the districts saying this is available for all students to participate if they have this particular interest and desire to attend.
And is there an intention to give some context to why the district is offering this trip? Because I know that we are all aware of the work that's been done over the last year and that the board had asked in the spring for us to take a look at equitable opportunities for everybody. My concern is if this goes out without any context, there might be some confusion as to, well, where did this come from? Why are we doing this? Why is this opportunity available? Why isn't a different opportunity available? So I guess I asked a question, but then I kept talking. The original question is, could there be some context to why this and why now? and that this is one of the first of what will follow.
Yes. So to say it back, what might be valuable for us is to, when we communicate this, to embed it in a larger context to our students and our community, our families, in the way that we're embedding it in a larger context for the board as well, to help people, whether it's students or adults, understand where this trip is coming from, why this trip has been put together, how it benefits our students, and that others may be following in the future along similar lines.
Yes, that was my question. And certainly I will leave it in your hands to decide how to best do that. But I worry that if it is just communicated kind of a standalone thing, there might be some confusion about what it is and why this enhanced opportunity is being made optional to our students.
I have a comment or a suggestion, if I may say. Obviously, this requires board approval, and that's why it's coming to board before the communication goes out. But since there is a more structural basis to these type of engagements for the future, I think it may not be a bad idea to kind of send this type of communication, not about a specific trip, but the kind of programs that will be offered that would involve these overnight trips and stuff to families in advance, so that they are at least aware that these could be the potential things that could be happening in the future.
Yes.
So now with this particular one, it's a tight turnaround. However, it really is a very short window for which the families have to make those decisions for their children. So again,
Yes.
as a long-term strategy, that these are the things we are planning. It doesn't require board approval. Pending board approval could always be an important clause that could be added.
Yes, we agree with you on both accounts. This is a shorter than ideal turnaround. And part of that was just kind of the way that this committee finished the work that happened over the summer and trying to capitalize on this 4-day weekend in October. So we understood in I think moving forward, all of these trips would have a longer timeline in advance. And our choice was, well, we can offer it on a short timeline, or we can wait a full year to try to capture it. We thought this has a lot of potential benefit to students. So let's at least offer it and see if we can get students on this short timeline. And then secondly, the committee agreed with you that families would benefit from having even longer term look. So one thing that we're working on, Ben and Larry and the committee of Ed Tours, is developing a 4-year calendar where Ed Tours would be listed out in advance. And our goal is that a freshman coming in would have a pretty comprehensive view at their next 4 years and the travel opportunities that would be available to them. They may not know exactly all the locations specifically, but they would know, for example, orchestra is planning an international tour in 2028. And we have 3 Ed Tours being planned for the spring of 2027, and so that would help a family start to target which ones they wanted to attend and budget appropriately.
Thank you.
Can I just jump in and sort of paraphrase? What it sounds like to me is there would be some value in, when this is presented at the board meeting, to have some kind of I'm not looking for a presentation, but some kind of a elevator speech or something to sort of describing the work that's been done, just as a reiteration of why we're where we are with this, and so that people have the context of why we're doing this and why it's a quick turnaround on this one, but there will be some future. So all the things that you've been saying are great. Again, I don't know that we need a big presentation or anything, but just to sort of summarize that when this comes up on the agenda, and we'll give you the opportunity to reiterate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So to take a summary of this discussion, the context around this, plus some of the context from last June, and to put that into a very succinct kind of report to the board as we bring this forward on the board meeting.
Okay, friends, thank you for the update. Committee members, thank you for the conversation. And with that, we will move forward to the next agenda item. and that is another Ed Tour, Libertyville High School Girls Flag Football Team overnight trip. Tom, do you want to give us some more description around this?
I do, yes. And this one is also coming very quickly, and we're asking for approval. This was it is our girls flag football team. It is an Ed Tour because this is not connected to an IHSA competition event. This is the team choosing to go on an overnight trip to Camp Duncan. The focus is on team building and culture building experiences and activities. The coach has a lot of experience doing this. Girls flag football has done this in the past, and girls gymnastics has done this. It's been a very successful experience. The kids come back really connected to each other and focused on having a great year. So this trip is one that we support. It has very low cost. Kids would be spending 1 or 2 nights at Camp Duncan. Forgive me. I know they leave the 16th, and I believe they return the 17th. The reason that it's coming here with a little bit of a special circumstance is that with all the hustle and bustle at the beginning of the year, we didn't have this back in the summer when we should have had a look at it. So the board had time to have 2 meetings. The trip being before the next board meeting, we're asking for special approval for this one without going to the board meeting.
So we could probably come to consensus. We can't really vote or give approval at this meeting because it's a committee meeting, but we can.
Yeah, I don't know what the, I mean, approval of them moving forward with plans is what they would need. And then I'm not sure exactly of how the voting would work or the support that would come from that.
Yeah. We'll officially approve it at the meeting, but I guess I would question, is there anyone that has a concern with this tour, with this overnight stay?
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, it says right here that it's been approved by the LHS athletic director and the LHS principal. So I think
I
is
think we
correct.
should be good to go.
And we recognize the difficulty that this presents at the board level. We apologize for that. And following our procedures, this should not be something that happens frequently.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Thank you, committee members. It sounds like by consensus, we support that agenda item. That brings us to the next item, which is an update to board meeting public participation guidelines. And Mary, you're going to join us for a conversation around this topic.
Yes, thank you. We wanted to bring an update to all of you based on some feedback that we have received from the board and just under a review on our own, that the public participation guidelines for board meetings needs some language stricken from the very bottom of the guidelines that you have in the packet. And basically, it is taking out some language that I think was put in there during COVID. And it is stating that when the board receives emails or written correspondence, that those communications will be included in the board packet. That is being taken out because that's not what we've been doing post-COVID.
Yeah, just for the newer board members during the lockdown, but during our COVID era virtual meetings, we had to go to a written public comment process. And so we were getting significant public comments through emails, and we wanted to acknowledge that, and we wanted to also allow them to have the voice that they would have normally had during an in-person meeting. This was never intended to be an ongoing thing. This is a document just to help people understand what our process is for board meetings. So since we no longer need that or no longer accept public comment via email, this is sort of a moot point. It's a language that's no longer necessary and just needs to be stricken. I don't think this isn't a formal board policy or anything. I think it's just acknowledging the fact that we're correcting the text on this document.
Okay, Mark, do you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, that's correct. It's a procedure anchored to a policy, so procedures don't require board votes, but thinking was we would bring it forward for public transparency so people could be aware of the context around why we were going to be striking this.
Do appreciate the transparency. Thank you for the explanation. Anything else you wish to add, Mary?
Nope, that's all.
Okay, that concludes our agenda items. We do have future agenda items for the August 25th, 2025 board meeting, and those include student school board representatives' oath of office, fiscal year 25 site-based expenditure reporting, board policies, second reading and adoption, daring educational tour, fiscal year 25 budget performance, MOA for the ESP, forgive me for the acronyms there. And then the last item, the 10-month and 12-month amendments. So with that review of future agenda items and the covering of all of the agenda items that we talked about before, if there's no other comments, concerns, questions, items to be raised, I'll call this.
I do have one. I just
Okay.
wanted to ask, we had a team building meeting in closed session, and I'm wondering if the two members that were not able to join us have been brought up to speed on the action items that came out of that.
I have not had a conversation with those two individuals as of yet, no.
Okay. So is that something that might not be on a future agenda item, but that is gonna,
It's something that needs to take place.
yeah,
yes, yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the reminder.
Okay. Thank you. And with that, I'll call this, I'll adjourn this meeting at 6:02 PM here on August 11th, 2025.
Shall we move right into
All
the?
right. Everyone good? All right. Good evening and welcome to the Facilities and Finance Committee meeting for August 10th, 2025. I call the meeting to order at 6:02 PM. I will review the agenda. We'll start with an invitation for public comment. Moving on, items for discussion this evening are the amended athletic training agreement with Athletico, fiscal year 2025 disposals, summer 2025 capital projects update. We will touch on the future agenda items before adjourning. Now I will ask if there's anyone here who would like to make a public comment. Seeing as there's none, I will move on to the discussion items for this evening. The first one is the amended athletic training agreement with Athletico.
Yeah, so this is, Athletico approached us, that they would have difficulty filling the second FTE that we have with them. We have 2 FTE, and so they said they think they can guarantee us 30 hours, but they can't guarantee 40. They're hopeful to do 40 as much as they can. So that's what they presented to us to amend the contract. It runs through the rest of this year.
Think that's going to cause any issues for the students?
I don't know if it'll cause any issues for the students, but Justin Cooper, the new athletic director, feels that it's a workable solution, but we're going to monitor it over the next couple months to kind of see how it goes. And if they're having problems, we'll look to address those as they come.
And we're in an annual contract, so this, we can, I think we should probably have a good idea by the spring to know whether or not it's working out, because right now is actually not a good time to try to find a new.
Yeah, unless
Partner.
we're forced to.
Right.
And this is the second year of a 2-year contract, so it just happens to coincide that this is the last year of that contract, but usually they're on multi-year contracts.
And Dan, just for the record, and I appreciate everything everyone's done, just for the sake of our athletes at both Vernon Hills and Libertyville, I hope that we watch it carefully. Then if there is a slight lapse, that we're proactive in that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Fiscal year 2025 disposals.
So this is an annual report. So for new board members, this might be the first time you're seeing it. Throughout the fiscal year, the board approves disposals for various reasons. And so a few years ago, it was asked, well, what actually ended up happening with it? And so our plan was to, at the end of the fiscal year, kind of circle back and kind of list out, here's what actually ended up happening with the disposals that were approved. So that list is there for you. You don't have to approve it or anything. It's more of an informational item.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
I just wanted to say how nice it is to see that the LHS band uniforms were donated and are being used by another school. That's fantastic. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, next item is the summer 2025 capital projects update.
Yep, we have that included for you, and Mark's here to help answer any what questions you might have. I guess summer is now technically over, but
Yes. All right, so how was the first day?
We had a few hiccups to start the morning, but the day went well. We had an incident in the cafeteria where the Ansel system in the kitchen was accidentally set off. So
the fire suppression system.
the fire suppression system, I'm sorry, over the cooking apparatus. Quickly, the kitchen staff went to cold cuts, sandwiches and stuff, and the salads and things, ordered some pizzas. We were able to, as part of that, public health department was contacted. We quickly had it cleaned up. We had a service company come in to reactivate the hood and fill the hood with the fire suppression solution, and everything was back up and running approximately around 1 o'clock. So we're all set for tomorrow. So small hiccup. We did ROE walkthrough this morning, as we have partial occupancy for the space, to use the space. So we'll move forward with construction in the cafeteria.
Did the fire suppression system go off while the students were in the cafeteria?
No, it actually was it was limited in the kitchen. It was
The kitchen is
just
not
at-
accessible by the students. It's
By the
like
students.
the back of house kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so it just happened over the equipment, so it just had to do a cleanup, and they said, you call the health department, they come in, inspect, make sure your cleaning is proper, and give us the okay to move forward, and otherwise it went well. The new cafeteria furniture is in place. We have the one area is considered a new cafe area. We're not unable to occupy that. The flooring was completed yesterday afternoon. We still have ceiling, grid work to get up and those items. But so we utilize all that furniture. We're in different spaces in the cafeteria for the kids to sit, and also our old cafeteria tables. We set up in the gym for any overflow. So we were able to accommodate the students so they all had something to eat. I believe they also were able to go to the food labs and use the classroom to cook some chicken. So they had some warm chicken sandwiches and things. And, we had set up the temporary lines on Sunday. Except for the hiccup to start it, it ended out turning to be a great day.
I appreciate the creativity, getting things done.
yes.
And can you summarize where we are in the bid process for the additional helical pairs?
Bid openings will be this Thursday morning, the 14th at 10 a.m. So then we'll vet the bids, analyze it, make sure everything's fine, and then we'll bring it to the board for approval to move
And
forward.
we
with
anticipate that's going to be a significant additional cost.
that. Yes, it'll be an additional cost. I don't want to give a number. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Imagine it's going to be under $100,000. And we still have contingency money to cover it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And do we have any type of guarantee that this will be the last time that we're going to have to drill deeper, or it's
No.
still
Nope. There's another one in the works.
okay?
So, yet, yeah, until they get into some of them, not a guarantee, and it kind of depends on conditions. So we have additional ceiling work that has to get done that we're going to have to bid out. That was, kind of determined over the weekend, and so they're working on that scope. That's not going to be anywhere near like the helicular piers, but there, to our knowledge, there shouldn't be any more big things coming.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But there could be smaller things. It depends on what happens in the trade that it falls under. So there's a law that it's a $16 million project, but we actually can't legally award a change order more than 10% of a particular trade's bid. So for example, we have some trades that their bid is $3 million. So we could do up to 300,000 legally without having to rebid. We have another trade that's 148,000. So we can only do a change order of like 15,000, or we can't even really do 15,000 without having to legally go out to bid again. So we're trying to figure out all those different things. So it kind of depends on which trade gets faced in what scope that would require us.
But as far as the piers are concerned, this is
As
gonna
far
be
as
the
the
last.
piers are concerned,
big-
this will cover all the piers in the courtyard, so we can pour the concrete and move forward.
Okay.
As far as other trades, as Dan mentioned, we know there's ceiling. Now that scope of work has changed to second shifts because some of the work can't be done during the day. They're working on an analysis of where we're at for schedule. My big concern is setting the steel, because we have to crane it over the roof, and you can't occupy the space underneath that area. So there might be additional charges on labor if we have to do, premium time at night, or it has to be Saturdays or Sundays. So we'll analyze that as we go along, and if we need to bring something to board, we'll definitely let you know right away.
All right. Thank you. I did peek in to the pool at Vernon Hills on Friday, and the carpeting looks nice.
Yeah, it did. I haven't seen the finished product. I took the picture before it was done. We've been concentrating on over here.
No, I understand. I just decided to peek in, and it looks very nice.
As part of the cafeteria project, I'd like to put a thank you out to the B&G staff here at Libertyville, as well as Vernon Hills had come over and has helped out during the summer to turn the school around. Dust was all over the school. It was, so everybody spent the weekend here. We worked long days and we got it completed. And a couple of those spots here where we had to touch up some floors and things like that, but everything was clean and inspected this morning, and Ray was very happy, and I believe the students were all happy. So
Definitely.
successful opening.
Yeah, definitely a team effort. I also want to extend a special thank you to Mark Koopman as well, who spent the better part of his weekend. I believe Ray Albin, principal, was here a good part of Saturday, and even a cameo appearance by Dan Stanley on Saturday, just to assess. If the board is interested, we certainly after this meeting could take a quick field trip down to the cafeteria. The work has been exceptional. I mean, it's an inch by inch project, but it's looking really good. If we were here last week, we may say something else, but a lot can happen in a week, and I mean, we'll get there. It's a great upgrade for a great school.
All right. Any other questions or comments before we move on? No? All right. So moving on to future agenda items, since Doug covered the August 25th future agenda items, I will just touch on our September 8th, 2025 FNF meetings. We're going to look at the fiscal year 2025 employee compensation report, and we will have another summer capital projects update. And we will discuss the summer capital projects for 2026. Never ending. All right. And with that, I adjourn the FNF committee meeting at 6:15 p.m.
Thank you, everybody.